Please smash that like button, you guys, and subscribe. And yeah, man, we're gonna talk Terence Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. You guys. If you guys didn't watch the fight, man, it was a mauling. I mean, it was almost appalling to see that because Errol Spence Jr. did what he could do in the fight, but it just wasn't enough. If you guys look at Terence Crawford, his interviews that he's done lately, he's pretty much said that he took the jab away from Errol Spence, and a lot of stuff happened after that. A lot of openings happened for Terence Crawford after he took the jab away. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. After watching the fight several times, I seen that Errol Spence did have openings, he just didn't take them. He just didn't take them, you guys. He did have openings, but he just didn't take them. So I think some people look. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. Some people say a rematch isn't warranted. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. I think that it's all on Errol Spence. It's all on what Errol Spence wants to do. If he wants to do a rematch, I feel like that's on him. Smash that like button as soon as you guys come in, you guys. Definitely smash that like button. But the ball is in the promoter's court now. You know, the ball is in the promoter's court. You know. Hold on, real quick. Hold on. It's now, man. To be honest, but yeah, man. So like I was saying, man, Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence, it needs to go down. Just so everybody can just write all these excuses off of what they have for Errol Spence, and just lay to rest. And let this Terence Crawford be great. I picked Terence Crawford to win. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I did pick him to win. I bet my boss, one of my bosses at my other job or whatever, that, look, Crawford's going to win. He's like, no, Spence, man down, but the facts are, Terence Crawford, when he took that jab away from Errol Spence, man, a lot opened it up for him. A lot opened up for him. And I like what I see. I like what I see, man. Terence Crawford is a very, very tough guy to punch, and he's willing to swim in there with the sharks, as you guys can see. But Terence Crawford did say that he will take the rematch, and that he does not have a problem fighting at 154. So, and you guys all know that Errol Spence said that he wanted the second fight to be at 154 because he had trouble making weight at 147. And a lot of people and a lot of Spence hardcore fans are saying that, if the fight was at 154, Spence would have won, or Spence would have had a better chance of winning. A lot of people think that he got drained down, in that fight. That he got drained down, and it was a lot on him, and he couldn't make the weight anymore. And you guys all heard Errol Spence saying in the post press conference, it was tough for me to make the weight. And when it's tough to make the weight like that, you guys, of course 100% going into a fight. All the fighters that I've talked to said it's very seldom do you see a fighter that's going to be 100% every time. And the more I think about it, you guys, I mean, Errol Spence had plenty of opportunity to do his thing in this fight, man. He really did. He had plenty of opportunity. He had nothing but space and opportunity, you know. But I feel like the right man wanted Terence Crawford. And, you know, moving forward, Errol Spence is going to have to change his defense. He's going to have to stop leaving himself open to get hit with shots from Terence Crawford. That's easier said than done. But right now, man, Terence Crawford's got to go back. Errol Spence got to go back to the drawing board and just be like, look, man, you know, what I did just last fight was not working. You know, lunging in, trying to bully, you know, the fucking bully. Because I feel like Terence Crawford was bullying Errol, to be honest. You know, he was throwing him around the ring. He was doing what he wanted to in that ring, man. And ring generalship is a big part of the fight, man. If you don't have ring generalship, how are you going to win the fight? If you can't dictate what the fuck you're going to do, how are you going to win the fight? You know? Errol Spence right now needs to either, I'm not going to say change trainers, because I don't think that, you know, I think Derek James is a good trainer. But what he needs to do is, a lot of people are saying that Blu-ray wasn't in this camp. You know, I was listening to a channel the other night, and they were saying Blu-ray wasn't in the camp. You know, so, you know, Blu-ray has, you know, proven results where, you know, I believe he's undefeated, you know, when he's working with Errol Spence. So, you know, maybe having Blu-ray back to do that, you know, core training that he was doing. Some people say Spence looked flabby. Some people say Spence didn't look right. Shout out to UGC in the chat. No doubt, bro. Hard for me to look at the comments while I'm driving, but you already know. Smash that like button and subscribe, you guys. But, you know, right now, man, I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. You know, Errol Spence has got to change up some shit, man. That's what it is. He's got to change up, you know, the preparation that he's had leading up into this fight. I feel like he was flat. I feel like he was, you know, he wasn't, you know, I just feel like he wasn't doing enough, you know. And what I mean by that is Terence Crawford, with that jab that Terence Crawford had, and see, what makes it so difficult is Terence Crawford's jab is his power hand. So when he's standing in the southpaw position like this, okay, with his jab being his right hand, he grew up a right hand. So your jab is really your power hand. So when he knocked Errol Spence down with that jab, that was his power hand. Facts. You know what I'm saying? And all I'm saying is Errol Spence has got to know that. He's got to be very cautious of, and I know it sounds crazy because the jab is going to be in your face all day, you know, but he's got to be very wary of Errol Spence's jab. He's got to, you know, he's got to, because it's going to be tough not to, man. You know, right now, Errol Spence, right now, you guys, Errol Spence is the type of fighter that has done well with other fighters. He's done a hell of a job with other fighters. We've all seen it. You know, we've all seen Errol Spence do a hell of a job with other fighters, like you guys, like Sean Porter, you know, and other fighters, you know. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. None of those fighters, you know, you guys, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, you know, he didn't fight Keith Thurman, but, you know, just all of the fighters that, you know, Errol Spence has fought, none of those fighters are like, you know, none of those fight like Terence Crawford. You know, Terence Crawford is a lot more disciplined, probably 80% of the fighters out there. I say 80% of the fighters, Terence Crawford. Because if you think about it, a lot of fighters, when they celebrate and they actually win a fight and they actually do good, they actually go out and celebrate and drink and party and all that shit. Terence Crawford doesn't. Terence Crawford goes home to his 7 kids and he hangs out and he chills. You know? He's a family man. You know? I feel like family men in the sport of boxing have longevity. Facts. Facts. And it's just like, I'm not saying if you're a single guy out here and you're a fighter that you're not going to last, but it's going to take a lot of dedication. It's going to take a lot of determination, and it's going to take a lot of fighters out here that's after you get and that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Yeah, these guys got, financially straight right now. They got the biggest, highest payday that they ever had. But what I'm saying is, Terence Crawford, after the money is all said and done, after he done got all his money, and he done did everything he could do to win his money, and he earned his money, what's next? Do you go spend it? Do you go out? Do you enjoy yourself? This guy, Terence Crawford, looks hungry as shit after the win. He said he's hungrier after the win. His words, not mine. And so what that shows me, you guys, of a level of dedication that this guy is, it's hard to pick against Terence Crawford when he's in his zone, man. And he's been like this since he's been a professional, I feel like. Or the last 8 to 10 years at least. Where it's reputation, it's the same thing, over and over and over. But he's getting it done. He's getting it done. He's getting it done, man. And that's what it takes, man. It's gonna take a guy to beat Terence Crawford that has the same level of dedication. And I'm gonna be honest, I think the only thing that's gonna stop Terence Crawford from winning is either weight, a guy just catches him clean, or father time. It's gonna be one or the other. It's gonna be father time, or it's gonna be somebody catching him. It's gonna be somebody definitely catching him. We seen Gamboa catch him. We know Terence Crawford can be hurt. Can Errol Spence at 154 pack a big enough punch to hurt and stop Terence Crawford? Because Terence Crawford is going to keep coming. We've seen Errol Spence keep coming. But there's levels to this. There's levels to this. There's levels to this, man. And I got to get me some motherfucking coffee, man. I ain't had no damn coffee all day. You guys know how I feel about my coffee, man. You guys already know how I feel about my coffee, man. If you guys don't know, I love my coffee, man. I love it. So let me go in here and get this coffee real quick. Hold on real quick, you guys. I'll be right back, you guys. Hold that thought. Hold that thought for me. Let's get it. Alright, the kid is, man, back to what I was saying, man. Terence Crawford, Errol Spence rematch. You know what I'm saying? Rematch. And we on deck, man. You know? But I'm gonna be honest, man, the rematch, the more I think about it, man, it just depends on where Errol Spence comes in, man. The Errol Spence that came in, I guess what, 2 weeks ago now? The Errol Spence that came in about 2 weeks ago, man, he's not gonna get it done in the rematch. I'm sorry. He's gotta come with a different game plan. And he's gotta actually believe that he can hurt and stop Terence Crawford. Because I feel like if Errol Spence can catch Terence Crawford, he can have success. You know, we've seen other fighters have success against Terence Crawford. Don't act like Terence Crawford is this fucking Iron Man. You know, because he's not. You know? He's not. You know, but, you know, right now, man, you guys got to understand, man, that, Errol Spence has got to really take some time off. He's got to think about, he's got to really think about, if he really wants to really go in full throttle with this rematch, which I know he is. I know he is, because, everything that I've seen leading up into the fight, while I dissected, the epilogue, that's after the fight was over. They, went into the camps. They showed the build up to the fight. They showed what happened during the fight, and they showed what happened after the fight. Terence Crawford, Terence Crawford was, dialed in, and so was Errol Spence. I mean, these guys were both apex predators, but one guy had to raise his hand, and it sucked that, one of the guys had to lose in the way he had to lose. Errol Spence got ran over pretty much. I mean, he got fully throttled. He got fully punished. The guy got, he just, the game plan he had was wrong, and what he was doing wasn't working. It's just a fact. He's got to go back to the drawing board. Him and, the former trainer of the year, Derek James. Shout out to Derek James. Derek James looked pissed. That's another thing. I like to see that out of a coach, where your fighter takes his first professional loss, and your key fighter in your stable takes his first professional loss. Yeah, you need to be mad. You need to be like, what the fuck happened? Because you need to go back to this. If you're going to do this rematch, like Errol Spence said, he said in the post-fight press conference that he wanted a rematch, and then he wanted at 154. Terence Crawford has accepted his challenge at 154. And so now they're looking at fighting at 154. Does anything change, in my personal opinion, at 154? You gotta, first of all, definitely bring Blu-ray back. If you didn't have him in this fight, and you didn't have him in this camp, he's been spot on with you. He just looked, to me, and I know a lot of people have touched on it before, but I just feel like Errol Spence's reflexes look very slow. Errol Spence's reflexes look very slow. They look very, delayed. Terence Crawford almost knew what he was gonna do by the 7th and 8th and 9th round. It was pretty much all she wrote. People were just waiting for the towel to get thrown in. And I mean, for all of that to happen, and for Errol Spence to still want a rematch, shows me that he's seen something and that he thinks he can do better. Call a spade a spade. He thinks he can do better. Now the fucking, multi-million-dollar question is, can he do better? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Shout out to Wawa's for not sponsoring this video. Shout out to Wawa's for not sponsoring this video, but I love y'all, man. Y'all got some of the best coffee, man. I like Wawa's coffee, man. But like I said, man, Errol Spence got to go back to the drawing board. He's got to change up some. The main thing I feel like he's got to change up is he's got to work on his defense. That's number one. And number two, he's got to work on that jab. You know, he's got to work on that jab and being able to counter Terence Crawford. I didn't see Errol Spence doing a lot of countering at all. He was the one getting countered. And when you're getting countered so much like Earl Spence is, you almost run into shots. You start running into shots, and that's pretty much what Earl Spence was doing. He was starting to run into shots, and he was getting hit at will against Terence Crawford, and it just didn't look good. It just didn't look good all the way around. But yeah, man, I really want to know what you guys think about this in the comment section, man. I gotta go to my next job and get this shit done. But thank you guys so much for watching, man, and I will come back with you with another banger on the next video, you guys. I appreciate you guys so much for watching, man, and I'll have my shit together a little bit more next time. I feel like every time I do a live stream, it's like put together, thrown together, but hey, man, I YouTube doesn't pay me anymore. They fucked my monetization up, so I gotta get it out the mud, dog. So yeah, man, I'll let you guys know on the next live stream, man. And yeah, man, thank you guys for watching. This is Corey Lee Boxing, and you definitely been hit with another